Okay. So I've never really done this before. Just deciding to make a video testimonial confession, but wow, it feels just as silly as I thought it would. But I am 3 paragraphs away from finishing my yoga certification. I was going to push through last night and just try to get it done while the girls were asleep, and I ended up getting a headache and I just really was tired, and I thought, you know what, I feel like there's a reason for tomorrow that, to wait and do it tomorrow. So for these last 3 paragraphs, I really wanted to finish reading a couple chapters in the Yin Yoga book by Bernie Clark. There's a foreword by Sarah Powers, which is someone else who I'm just really enjoying her book and all of the knowledge in there. And upon my reading, I came across a chapter on the different types of qi. And the section about Jing is what really hit home for me and really just shifted my life completely. I'd been familiar with a general concept of Jing from working at Rockstar Cafe. One of the product lines by Ron Teagarden was he had a Shen, a Jing, different types of Taoist qi formulas, and so I'd been familiar with the word and the general concept, like, oh, it's Jing is energy, and it's primarily like an adrenal tonic, and so of course it kind of focused on that essence of your being, your energy that kind of keeps you there. But while I was reading, of course I came upon, it's referred to the essence, material basis of our body that nourishes and fuels our cells. It cools the body, so it's very yin in nature, which is, yin is where I'm really wanting to focus on for many reasons. Jing is the carrier of our original physical nature. It is in the DNA that our cells build upon. Jing is stored in the kidneys and distributed to all other organs to help them with their normal, healthy functioning. However, this is the part that hit home for me, was that there are 2 types of Jing. There's the before heaven and the after heaven Jings. In Sarah Powers' book, she refers to it as the prenatal Jing and the acquired Jing. So you have the before heaven, or the prenatal, which is the Jing that is given to us at birth, or before birth, in utero. And that's kind of like our storehouse. Like she was saying, it's kind of like our savings bank account, but like a savings account that you can't really add to. It's just like that's your set account. And then you have your after heaven, or your acquired Jing, which is by eating healthy foods, doing pranayama, yin yoga, tai chi, anything that's very vitalizing to the body, that kind of cools down any of the stress or the excess heat in the body. So that after heaven, or the acquired Jing, is more a like checking account. So you can add and withdraw to that account, and then of course if you overdraw on that account, it can take from the savings. And then when the savings gets depleted enough, and this is theoretically a savings account that you can't add more to, so once it removes, like overdrafts enough where it takes enough from the savings, that's it. That's game over. Like, you go on to the next place. So, um, before I go on, I guess she says here, the secret to longevity is to use up as little before heaven, that savings account, to use up as little of that as possible while you're building up like a storehouse of that acquired or after heaven jing through those practices like qigong, yin yoga, pranayama, and the right type of eating. For me, I've gone through a long journey. That's like a story on its own. Going vegetarian when I was 9 for a few months, then out of it, and then when I was 11 for almost 2 years. And every time I would like go back to meat, and I've been back and forth vegetarian, vegan, raw foodist, you name it. I've tried paleo for a while. I've tried all these different things, and for me now, the last few months, and I'm really just starting to delve into it and make it a daily, like making sure every meal and everything that I do is more Ayurvedic. So rather than going, I'm gonna jump on the raw food train, or let me try vegetarianism for a little bit, or let me be vegan, but I'm gonna be vegan and eat like vegan junk food, or like none of that worked for me. None of that like felt like it connected and clicked, and none of it really. The raw food diet, I will say, I did need that cleanse. I've had a lot of health issues over the years. This journey has brought me to such a deeper knowing and understanding of what's truly going on with my health. So, food allergies since I was a kid, chemical sensitivity since I was a kid, being hospitalized in 4th grade because there was fresh paint in the hallway, like stairwell. There was no fresh ventilation, so that was a big part of it. But I mean, bleach, perfume, you can ask friends and family, they probably have thought I was nutty or wacky or just being, it's not organic. And it's not that, it's so much more than that. It's like those things affect my quality of life. And I mean, it's been a good solid 7 or 8 years where I've been just learning and researching and what chemicals are in this and what did that, and that's what kind of started it, and then environmental science and all of that stuff. And so it's, again, and then like all the different food things, and what about these supplements, what about this doctor and that doctor, and every aspect of it has contributed to where I'm at now. And where I'm at now, yin yoga, Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, those things are the things that really have proven themselves to me in my journey. And so yeah, trying not to use up that, gift at the early onset of life, that prenatal, that before heaven jing, that is a gift. That is your gift. And it's up to you to learn how to balance those things and not burn yourself out. So for me, growing up with an alcoholic mother who's mostly verbally and emotionally abusive, having to be a mom to my sisters when I was 9, 10, having to learn how to cook and like make mac and cheese on the stove and popcorn. I think I remember making lots of popcorn and just constantly being yelled at, constantly being called names. My nervous system got really out of whack. My immune system went down the drain. We already have what from my research, I would like to call an autoimmune issue in our family, due to having at least 4 people in our family that are on the spectrum and that have even been diagnosed with autism itself, or Asperger's, or, you know, on the spectrum. So we definitely have that kind of thing. The more you research, the more you realize that's kind of connected with autoimmune issues. It's definitely a low functioning immunity. There's a lot of other factors. Anyways, my immune system took a hit, which is why I can't handle chemicals or food. You know, I always have to bring my food with me. Like, I can't handle certain foods. I can't handle certain chemicals in foods, smells, scents, all of that. Then I had the chronic migraine, and the raw food thing kind of helped me with that. But I needed more. Like, there was so much more there. Anyway, long story short, I can talk a lot. Most of you might know that I recently, last year, January 2016, I ended up with mono. And it knocked me out for a couple months. It was weird. I had started to get a little bit better in there. I was also going to massage therapy school at the time, which was not in alignment for me. I needed to learn that the hard way. I needed to learn a lot of things around that time that weren't for me. I wasn't standing up for myself. I just wasn't honoring myself in general. I was so scared. I've been scared my whole life, from childhood, everything else that's I'm living in this fear zone. And so Jing is associated with fear because they're both related to the kidneys. So the kidneys are the storehouse of Jing. Kidneys are the ruler of the feeling of fear. Your adrenals are connected to your kidneys. So I've had issues with that, like energy, adrenals. Sometimes it like shows itself in depression and anxiety and stress and fear and all of those different things. So when I got the mono, I also had all the chemicals at the school I was going to for massage. Also had a lot of like hair and nail and stuff that really bothered me. I had to wear a mask sometimes, and that wasn't helping. So my immune system obviously took a hit on mono. And mono is known to attack your Achilles tendon, if you will, so whatever your weak spot is. And for me, it was my endocrine system, which is adrenal, thyroid, energy, hormones, that whole system. I went around doctor to doctor. Everybody told me, oh, you're just depressed. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, you said you can't get out of bed. No, I literally can't get out of bed. My blood pressure is really low. It's like 20 to 30 points lower than normal. I did have a doctor running the medicine at the time who said, yeah, you have adrenal fatigue. Like, she really, you know, with that Eastern viewpoint, was able to guide me in the right direction of like, no, this is what's really going on. I did finally get one MD who sent me to the endocrinologist, who did say, yep, you have a goiter, you have like stage 3 Addison's. So if anyone Googles stage 3 Addison's, it's really, really, really intense and really scary. There's different stages. Most of our population, it would be considered like a stage 1 Addison's actually, which is like a general adrenal fatigue. We just wear ourselves out. We're constantly going, and rarely do we stop and really breathe. When we do get a chance to stop, you know, if we're parents, our kids are asking us questions, or like a phone call rings, or oh, you get this bill in the mail, or we rarely have a chance to stop. And we're working for the weekend. We're working for the hour or two we might get on the weekend. We're working for a vacation that may or may not be paid for. And if you have a vacation, you still have all these other things that you have to plan, and things might go wrong, and your flight might be delayed, or it's just, this society is really chaotic. Too much fire, not enough water, too much activity, not enough passive. I hope you can hear me. It's really like rainy and windy, but I love it. It's helping me with this process. It's water. The last few days, these rainy days have been incredible. Like, it's gonna make me cry. But that's what I need to do. That's part of why I made this. I was gonna go write in my journal, or I was gonna like make a post on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm tired of writing. I still have 3 paragraphs to go write for my yoga certification, and then I'll be done with that. Actually, I won't be done. I'm gonna keep going because, hey, I'm fire, and no, actually, yes, there's this passion that I have there. I want to keep learning. I want to keep going. I want to keep knowing how to help myself and my children and others, anyone else that needs help. I'm pursuing my bachelor's in alternative medicine, bachelor's of science, so I'll actually be taking classes on this, on Chinese medicine, on Ayurveda, on yoga, on energy work, and I'm so grateful for where this journey has led me, and it's been really, really hard, and I don't show that, and I hide it a lot. I recently had a phone interview with John Ishmael of Joyful Belly, and I hope you can hear me. It's raining a little harder. And we had an hour-long appointment. He went over, physical issues and really simple stuff, where I was like, wow, that's so simple. And I might move because that way you can maybe hear me a little better, but okay. That's not really helping, but anyway, he said that I should, he goes, you've been, the patterning on your tongue, everything that's going on, you have way too much heat in the body, your liver's overloaded, your GI tract is not working, that's leaky gut, which is also allergies, chemical sensitivities, it's all connected. And he goes, you seem really, confident and really, you have a really good attitude about everything that's happened. But he said, let's take a look at this. You had 6 months of bed rest, where you had to move back in with your parents, which at 31 as a single mom is really hard to do. You had to stop your job, you had to stop school, which even though it wasn't right at the time, it was something you were doing, and you had to restart your life. And he goes, that's pretty traumatic. And I was like, yeah, it really, it was. And he goes, well, you need to make sure that you actually address it and don't hold on to those emotions. And another thing with Ayurveda and Chinese medicine is your organs are associated with different emotions. So, your heart is joy or sadness, lungs are grief, spleen and stomach are worry, and indecision, and your liver is anger. And if you think about that, and you think about people and the issues that they have, you can kind of see emotions tend to go with it sometimes. But I haven't grieved about it, and for whatever reason, when I read that part about the Jing and using up your storehouse, that really got me, and that made me realize why I didn't finish this last night. I needed to read this today. I needed to read that part and have that epiphany and transform any fear and stress that I've just chronically had my whole life and change that into wisdom, because that's the opposite of fear. So you have fear and wisdom, which makes sense. If you're wise, you're going to be calm, you're going to relax, you're not going to feel fear, you're going to, what you think of a grandmother comforting a scared child. She's very wise. It's okay, you don't need to be afraid. and I need to become that internal grandmother, and shift that. And I needed to read that so much for myself, for my kids, and for myself as an upcoming instructor, because it just shifts my whole paradigm. It shifts my whole outlook on everything. And I'm sitting on the mat, that my very first mat that I got about 7 years ago when I fell in love with yoga, and about a year later I was like, I want to do this. Actually, I kind of felt that way the whole time, but I didn't think it was possible. I was still in that fear mindset where I was like, oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, other successful people do that kind of thing. And I believed that, and I never went anywhere. And when I started believing it, and I started following that dream, and it took me being in bed for 6 months, not being able to get up for about 10 minutes, for more than 10 minutes at a time, and understanding how precious this life really is. And I haven't even really opened up to family like this because it's been really hard, and I've kept it in, and I've been afraid to express it, and I've been afraid to be honest about it because I was afraid of appearing weak. And now I know it's so much the opposite of that. And I have a chance to take that journey and that lesson and turn it into mission. So, I just wanted to share this with you guys and really come from the heart and be real about it, and not try to hide behind this facade of, yeah, I'm doing great, I'm fine, yeah, I was tough, but I'm good. And it is, I'm good. I'm in such a better, I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful for the lessons. And I ate oatmeal before this, and I hope there's nothing in my teeth. There probably is. There's probably blueberry. But I don't really care, because this life is temporary, and I came really close to that. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested, if you look up Addison's, the different stages, stage 3 is pretty darn bad. It's exactly what I experienced. When you get to stage 4, that is where people go into a coma, and they either don't come out, or they pass on. So, shit, man. That's rough, and that's real life. And I've been there, and it's really fucking weird to say that, and it's really hard to say that. I want a shirt. They probably have a shirt online. If not, I should make one. I've got all these ideas I could just jump on now, because it's life is precious. You only live once. Who cares? They're like, I survived stage 3 Addison's. With a big thumbs up and a smiley face. Now my humor's coming out, which is a good thing. But anyway, that's my real life story. This is I can finally say it in my life. I've made a YouTube confession the day before I get my yoga certification, so exciting things coming up. I hope to see you guys. I would love to see you guys. I'm definitely going to be teaching a lot of philosophy. So one thing that I've learned on this journey, and I kind of knew this before, but it's really rare that you see this in yoga classes. So I was kind of like, what are you, are you not supposed to talk about this? But very rarely do you have a class where a teacher actually teaches and talks about the philosophy much. Usually you go in, you sit down, you ground, you might do a breathing exercise, you might do a mini chill out meditation, and then you do your asanas, your postures, you chill out in savasana, and somebody reads you a quote, and And I'm not bashing that. I'm not bashing that. It's just there's so much more to it. You know, there's so much more that I've learned, and like I really love the philosophy, and everything. And hey, I'm totally gonna have classes like that too. So not bashing that in any way. More of just I never knew. You know, like, so you're not supposed to teach that? Is that why you don't hear about that often? And so lots of breathing and lots of other stuff like that. So anyway, I'm really excited, and I love you guys, and anyone that has helped me in any possible way, I love you so much. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm truly, truly grateful. Come take some free yoga.